Welcome to a deep dive into something, well, incredibly powerful yet surprisingly small: micro habits.
Hmm.
We're going to unpack how these tiny, like 1 or 2 minute actions, when done consistently, can really quietly transform your life.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling about them, as our sources highlight, isn't just how simple they are. It's how these, well, seemingly tiny actions
Right.
build this amazing momentum.
Right.
We're talking about a shortcut, sort of to feeling more informed, more empowered, without that feeling of overwhelm you get from big changes.
Absolutely. So our mission today is really to pull out the best nuggets of insight from the material we looked at, showing you how these small shifts, well, they don't just add up. They can fundamentally rewire how you approach your day.
Okay.
So let's start with the morning,
Yeah.
because our source puts quite a lot of emphasis on how these first moments can really set the tone for the whole day. They suggest two incredibly quick habits: drinking water and making your bed.
The classics.
Yeah. First, just one glass of water right when you open your eyes. And the source emphasizes this isn't just, about hydration. It's more like a critical physiological cue.
Okay.
Immediately rehydrating after hours of sleep, it kickstarts your metabolism and it significantly improves cognitive function. It actually enhances mental clarity and energy, probably more than you'd think, even before coffee.
That's fascinating because it takes what most people think of as just like a basic health tip
Right.
and reframes it. It's a deliberate act to prime your brain, really,
Mm.
for peak performance right away. It's about optimizing your internal state from moment one.
And building right on that, the source then pushes for making your bed. Takes what, a minute? Maybe less?
Yes, 60 seconds tops.
But the core idea here, as they explain it, isn't just tidiness. It's about starting this dominant effect of productivity.
Ah, okay.
This first little act of discipline gives you an immediate tangible win. It sort of primes your brain for more organized behavior later. You feel a sense of control, accomplishment right out of the gate.
Exactly. And that brings up a really important question. How can these tiny physical things have such a big psychological impact?
Yeah.
It's that immediate hit of success, isn't it? Your brain logs a completed task, doesn't matter how small, and that positive feedback just encourages more action, makes it easier to face the bigger stuff later on.
That's a great point. And it leads us actually right into how these micro habits go beyond just the physical. They can genuinely shift your mental state. Our source gives us two powerful ways here.
Okay, like what?
Okay, first, taking 5 deep breaths before you pick up your phone. Just think of it as a tiny internal pause button. The source needs these breaths. They activate the parasympathetic nervous system, basically shifting you out of that fight or flight stress mode
Right, the default mode these days.
into a state of calm, of focus. It's like hitting a physiological reset before you dive into all the day's noise and distractions.
What's really insightful there is the intentionality of it, that pause.
Yeah.
Normally we just grab the phone instantly, right?
Mhm.
But consciously creating that space, it lets you choose your state instead of just reacting. It sets a precedent for being more mindful all day.
And a related mental shift: saying one thank you out loud every day.
Out loud.
Out loud, yeah. Not just thinking it. The source explains the simple act of actually vocalizing gratitude, even for something tiny like thank you for this food. It actively rewires your brain.
Wow, okay.
It strengthens the neural pathways linked to positive emotions. It fosters happiness, a more optimistic view. It's a deliberate practice in, like, actively looking for the good.
The power in that is huge. It forces you to reframe things cognitively, shifting your focus from maybe what's wrong or missing
Exactly.
to what you actually have. That intentional recognition of positives, even small ones, that can really change your emotional baseline over time.
Definitely. And finally, our source gives us one for winding down: a micro habit for the end of the day. 10 minutes, no phone time before sleep. Just put the phone away, sit quietly, maybe think, maybe jot down a few notes.
Just 10 minutes.
Just 10. The source highlights this creates a deliberate transition. It lets your mind process the day, disentangle from the constant screen stimulation.
Yeah, the blue light too.
Right, reduces that blue light exposure, which messes with sleep hormones. It all helps you get deeper, more restful sleep, which leads to more clarity, more peace the next day.
This really underscores the importance of creating that dedicated space for mental decompression
Yeah.
in our always-on world.
Yeah.
Giving your mind that chance to just unplug and actually process instead of constantly consuming, it's incredibly valuable. Not just for sleep, but for, well, overall mental well-being, even problem solving.
So what does this all boil down to for you listening?
Well, these are indeed very small habits, tiny even.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do them consistently, the source really attests to a remarkable outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You feel better, you work better, you live better.
The core takeaway, really, is that you don't need this massive life overhaul all at once. The power is in starting small, just choosing one of these to begin with. Yeah, exactly. So here's a thought for you to maybe mull over. Our source explicitly challenges you. It says, choose one micro habit, do it every day for 1 week. You will see the difference.
Just 1 week.
Just 1 week. What if you picked just one of these we talked about, tried it for the next 7 days? What surprising difference might you actually notice?